Blessings in abundance. Blessings in abundance. Blessings in abundance. You know who this is. Jason Miller. Roller Willing. Check that spelling. I'm live and direct. Of course, you know, author, artist, motivational speaker, doctor in research and science, and financial services. Money monster. Cause a chip on my shoulder, a heart on my sleeves. Better have loved and lost on feels like better have a broken heart than to feel like everything you love will lose or leave you. Some things you can have but never keep. The love is strong, so the pain won't be too. Check it out, man. Live and direct, you know exactly who this is in full effect. I'm coming at you a little bit different today. I want you to understand the research and the skills behind the talent the person you're speaking to. So it's not all just words. Skills behind this. Facts. Broken heart, broken ego, mental health exposed my demons, and I'd expected her to be my equal. Swallowing that pillows like her in a deep throat. Can't take a joke, not equally yoked. The strength for the kids, well, that should have been a goat. The strangers became over time like a ghost. Losing your mind intertwined with love is like losing someone you really love. All the pain when you think of the time and up, all the things that you wish that you said and done. Same when you see me in the mirror coming, I be laughing, you be running. Pain is love, no surprise. God be the judge, the devil may cry. Like I said, Jason Miller, Roll Llewellyn, live and direct. Download the song right now. It's available on Spotify. I'll make sure the link is here. My new book is out, Nature's Design, Intelligent Design. It's available right now. Download. I'll make sure I put it here. And I'll make sure I come back to you right at the end of this. And I'll bring you the content of what I have to share with you today. But for right now, I just want to hit you with something special. You know who this is. Jason Miller, Roll Llewellyn. Check the spelling. Money Monster. Holla. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, thank you for taking the time to indulge me a little bit again. This is Jason Miller, Roller One, and check the spelling. Of course, my songs are available on Spotify. So I'll put my link for Spotify here so you go on and check out the music so you see the artistry behind the talented person that's sitting right here in front of you. I'm also going to put the link to my book on cannabis research so you see some of the research, some of the things that I've developed. Because what I do in this book, I don't just talk about getting high. What I talk about in this book is actually some of the science, the research, the history of cannabis, some of the things that I've done with my research partner, Dr. William E. Muldowney, rest in peace, and a partnership with the Oglala Sioux Indian tribe to help them get their very first legal hemp harvest in U.S. history, including to some of the medicines and some of the treatments that we've made and designed to save lives. So I'll put the link for the book in the description as well so you can get that book also, okay? So remember, guys, like, subscribe, and make sure you download the songs, check out some of my music, download the books, check out some of the books so you understand the mind behind the brilliance or the brilliance behind the mind. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to come to you today and I want to talk to you about one specific thing specifically, right? One specific thing specifically, money. I'm the money monster, Jason Miller. I'm going to talk to you about how you are going to be monstrous with your money and what's been happening with your money so far, okay? You remember the three-legged stool? Or maybe if you're older, the older baby boomers know about a three-legged stool. But this is what a three-legged stool used to represent, okay? It represents, okay, when you retire, you have your savings, you have like your 401k, and then you have like your Social Security. So at the end of the day, after working 40 years and, you get your gold watch or, a little pension, if you got that, but then it would be your pension or your savings, your 401k, and Social Security. But what's happening right now? In today's age, you see right now, people's savings are being eaten up by inflation. So you can't save money in the bank anymore. The banks are going under. So whether it's Silicon Valley Bank, I was having get money out of Chase Bank. I was having issues getting money out of Wells Fargo Bank. Anyway, my banks are going under right now. So you see people losing their savings right now to inflation. What also happened, the 401ks are being attacked. People are losing 30, 20, 30, 40% off of their 401ks of the capital in there. So people used to have 500k in their 401k. Now they got like 200k, 300k. So it's no longer a 401k. It's now like a 335k or 235k. And that's facts. And that's after they've been hit with inflation and taxes. And that's not including the people who are relying on Social Security right now. Because those people who are relying on Social Security right now, they're going to be hurt the worst. Why do I say that? It's facts. Not only since the Bush era, we know that Social Security wouldn't be around when I become the age of retire based on what was happening then, based on how the world has cataclysmically changed and how those agendas has been accelerated right now. Facts, you can Google it yourself. You're set to lose about 40% of your Social Security benefits. So now, regardless of what you're getting, whether it's $2,500, $2,000, $1,400, $1,100, $900, $750, whatever you're getting right now from Social Security at the end of each month, that's about to be reduced because we're losing money in Social Security. So what can we do? What are some of the options that you can do with your money? And that's kind of what I talk about. Money Monster here, Jason Miller. I want to break down this thing for you, okay? We're going to talk about a couple of things here, all right? And I want to talk about the areas. Now, you see about the three-legged stool. I want to talk about 6 areas to support your financial services, okay? 6 areas to support yourself with the financial services. Again, I'm an artist, recording artist. You heard some of my music earlier. I'm an author as well. I'll make sure that link to my books in Barnes & Noble, and my new book is here as well. I'm a motivational speaker with TEDx and TED Conference because I've done speaking engagements already, and I've done speaking tours. What I've taken the time to do since then is to step away from the limelight, to put my time in research and education into, first things first, the cannabis and the hemp industry, to understand that. So I have to invest in a decade of my life in the cannabis industry as a research doctor, developing products, going through the science, human data, and analyzing that information to capitalize in different market spaces. The pain management industry, $1 billion space. We have pain management products. The pet care industry is a $1 billion space. We have pet care products. We have shampoo, conditioners, $1 billion space. Also, we have cancer treatment. That's a $1 trillion industry, $1 billion industry. We talk about treatments for alternative care. And we have design treatments like Charlotte's Web as well for patients with terminal illness, whether it be fibromyalgia, whether it be diabetes, whether it be cancer, whether it be fibromyalgia, so many different things. And people have been treated, Parkinson's, people have been treated epilepsy, and have significant improvements in their quality of life. And these are the research I've done as a doctor. What I've done so far is I've taken that time and expertise and research and transitioned it from the cannabis industry into the financial services and in the financial services market, because I understand, as it relates to money, one thing people didn't understand is cannabis. And for a large part, for a number of years, it was always a taboo about, oh, people are smoking weed, it's just about getting high. If you've noticed in the last 10 years, that message has changed. In the last 10 years now, the medicinal values have been increased. So you can see the fundamental difference right now that's taking place in the industry as it relates to how things have changed. Because you see these cannabis businesses popping up everywhere. You see these hemp companies popping up everywhere. And why is that? Because the laws have changed. And why have the laws changed? Because the education has changed. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. And that's what's important. You see, how I define success is the progression towards a noble and a worthy cause. That's how you define success. You see, when I'm not going to take credit for the cannabis industry changing, because about 10 or 15 years ago, it's all about people getting high. And like I said, now you hear about the medicinal values. You see people getting treated on a larger scale. It's not like the information was known or we weren't talking about it before. It's just that now people are more open to learn more about it. So even insurance companies like Lincoln National Financial Insurance Company will accept people who are cannabis smokers and give you an insurance policy to give you life insurance. So the entire industry has changed, okay? So when I consider the success of my time taking 10 years into the cannabis industry at a time when it was known only for people getting high, and focus primarily on the cannabis research, work directly within the laws and the government to push the agenda, and now in 2023, folks, in 2013, right now, we have cannabis stores popping up where you can go and get your treatment legally. I view my time in the cannabis world as a success. Not only do I have the formulations for products that are exclusive to myself that I can white label that are linked to billion-dollar industries, but I have taken the time to make an impact in that industry, not just for myself. I've helped the Oglala Sioux tribe, like I said, the Indian tribe, the largest tribe. They have over 70,000 acres of hemp that they grow naturally, organically, to help them get their very first legal harvest in hemp history. But here across the United States of America, the message has been promoted. I've worked with Dr. Uma. I've worked with Dr. William Muldowney. I've worked with also Cheryl Schumann as well, and also a friend as well, as it relates to getting the message out and sharing the word about cannabis research and cannabis importance. I've also worked with Dr. Felice as well. And these are high established doctors that I've not worked on a research level, worked on a partnership level, and worked with on a community level, as well as in a marketing and distribution level, to be able to help advance the education and knowledge of the industry. And again, right now, you see the changes. I digress. I started off with my music and my song, and I asked you to download it. The reason I asked you to download it is the same. I started off in the entertainment industry, and I started off, and if you, I mean, back then, Brian Isaac, you could check, I had millions of people on my LinkedIn. LinkedIn, millions of people, because I was trending back in 2008, 2009, 2010, before people knew what trending was. I started that. So back then when I had 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 million people and I was posting it on my Facebook, these are my people that's blowing up my network on my LinkedIn, people didn't know what was happening back then. They didn't understand it. They couldn't grasp what was going on with him or what was he doing. I was recording music, I was broadcasting. As a matter of fact, the people that I used to broadcast and do music with, they've all made it as well. For example, Breon Isaac, the 30s, much respect, shout out. Breon Isaac, 10, 20 times platinum right now. Billions of streams on Spotify. Now, this is a person that I recorded with in his house. And you know, when you start off in the music business, you start off working in the room, you just set up the studio. That's my guy. So we started off with the studio in the bathroom, from the studio to the bathroom, the studio in the closet, from the studio in the closet to the studio in the room, from the studio in the room to going to the studio. And from going to the studio, now he is running the entire industry with his own production studio, and I got to give love and support. But just like the time I invested in the music industry, those skills and those people were able to take that cultivation and that energy, and now guess what? They've been established to a successful space, and that's what I'm doing right now in the financial services industry as I take it from the music to the cannabis. We made progress there. Now from cannabis, I'm taking it to financial services. Now in the financial services industry, as I said, there's already a link. Because before, if you were a smoker, especially a cannabis smoker, you would not be qualified for financial services or insurance. However, now on today, if you are a cannabis smoker, you're a cannabis business owner, you qualify for insurance today. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, okay? Now, I said there are a couple of points I want to touch on, okay? First things first, what's the importance of financial services, okay? One of the things that we deal with and we help you take care of, retirement savings and income, okay? You got to understand when you get to retirement age, you need retirement savings and retirement income. Because when you're not working anymore, you also need to still get income because bills continue coming in. Now, if you don't understand, if you don't already have your business set up to set aside retirement income for you, if you're a business owner, I encourage you to come and learn more about that. If you don't already have a retirement income set up for yourself outside of your job that is giving you those benefits, you know there's a lot of companies laying off. So if you think your job is going to keep you on forever and pay all of your bills, I am completely sorry for your misunderstanding. Companies are laying off all across America. Did you hear that Disney, Mickey Mouse, just laid off every single employee? Yeah, over 200,000 people, because Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, is closing down. So if you think Disneyland, a staple in America and entertainment, is going to close their doors and your job at the 95 is going to be better, you go ahead and keep pushing that, boo-boo. Good luck to you. Next thing, like I'm saying, there's the other side of this I want you to pay attention to. First things first, like I said, retirement, savings, and income into your retirement. That's the fundamental thing I need you to pay attention to. And that's free information that we offer, okay? How to reduce your taxes. You know, one of my mentors says this best. I'm not a tax advisor, okay? But I can let you know the number one loophole in the tax code is life insurance. And life insurance is the number one way to help you to be able to pay less taxes. Taxes you have to pay, but always less is more, okay? What we do is we help people to be able to gain more control over their money, be able to have access to the money, and be able to get tax-free retirement from their capital. So that's what we do. The third thing that we do, we help people to understand. We put it on. These are just the bullet points I'm going over here. So I'm not just like figuratively going over this. I just want to take the time to break it down so you understand three primary things. A, the creative mind. B, the intelligence behind the research. And C, the passion and the magnitude of the changes that are happening now in this society. Because guess what? We've never had a time like this before where the inflation is high, where we're coming out of COVID, where the banks are crashing, where we're in also a world war. All these things are happening at the same time. We're not paying attention to it. Keep in mind, guys, the government is saying buy a gun with no ID. You don't need an ID to buy guns anymore. They don't even need to check if you're crazy or not. Why? Because they know there's going to be a lack of resources and people are going to take to the streets. They understand that. So it's time for you to start understanding really what's happening and where we really at. Because a lot of times, people, they really don't understand. So they just think they know and they really don't understand. So again, life insurance is the number one way to reduce your taxes, okay? Third thing that we're talking about, investment planning, okay? Because everybody wants to be able to put aside something for investment, okay? Keep in mind, three things people do with their money. 85% of people put their money in the banks. And what do they get? About 0.1%. 15%, 80% of people put money in the banks. 15% of people put their money in investments. That's what they do. And they take high risk, high rewards. They have their stocks, they have their bonds, they have their mutual funds. But again, high risk, high rewards. But again, you need to understand the best way to save and protect your investments right now. So we help you with that investment planning. Third thing, primarily even more important, risk management and insurance planning. You see, you have to take care of the risk management, and that's what insurance is: managing risk and making sure that you are protected. You see, versus the banks, when you put your dollar in, the banks use something called a fractional reserve lending. So with fractional reserve lending, what you do, you put in $1,000, and the bank can take out 900 of that dollars and give it away on the street and rent it out and loan it out, while you want your $1,000, you only have 100 left. They've already taken 900 out and loaned it out on the streets. Now, when they loan it out, they're gaining interest on that money. You're not. They're getting 10, 12, 13, 14, 18, 28% sometimes, depending on the kind of loans they give out on your money. And all they're giving you on the money in the bank is about 1% or 0.1%. Now, because of what's been happening, they've loaned out the money and they don't have enough money in the bank. That's why we have the fractional reserve lending, where you see Silicon Valley went down the other day because people went to take their money out and there was no cash. That's what's been happening with the banks. Now, 15% of people, like I said, put their money in the stock market. Well, as you see in the stock market right now, the market is crashing. Left, right, center, Bitcoin, no matter what it is, everything is in the red across the board. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've never had a time like this before in U.S. history, where, again, we're dealing with inflation at record rates. We're dealing with interest rates at record rates. We're dealing with a global pandemic. We're dealing with global food shortage. We're dealing with global oil supply shortage coming with OPEC plus cutting and the BRICS cutting all their oil supply. We're also dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, a serious time where we're also facing a global world war at the same time. The last time we had a world war, it was the Great Depression. The last time we had a financial crisis, it was the Great Depression. The last time we had a pandemic, it was the Great Depression. So I want you to understand this, guys. If you further you look back in history, you can see the future. Understand this. This is what William Churchill said, okay? The further you look back in history, you can see the future. Right now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as crazy as this looks, the future looks absolutely bright, because after every tear down of recession, there's always multi-billionaires being made after that point in time. And that's why I want you to understand. The market and the world is changing, so it's time for us to pay attention. Again, go back in history. When there was a World War II, the last World War, there was a depression. There was a Great Depression, a recession. When there was a financial crisis with mortgage and finances, there was a Great Depression. When there was a pandemic, the last pandemic, there was a Great Depression. So again, we're dealing with 4 of these things all at once, ladies and gentlemen. And that is exactly why right now it is high time we pay attention to the values and the importance of what we need to do with our money. So when I talk about risk management and insurance protection and insurance planning, what I'm talking about is, with insurance, you put $100,000 into your insurance policy. Guess what? The insurance company gets $300,000 to back that up. That's the difference. So while the banks, you put $1,000 in, and the bank lends out $900 automatically to make interest on it. With your life insurance policy, you put $1,000 in, and the life insurance company backs that up with $3,000 to ensure that that money is protected. That's the difference. You put 1, they put 3. So now there's 4 now they're protecting it. However, when you put 4, the bank takes 3, and you only have 1 left in there. That's the fundamental difference. And the 5% of people, like I said, there's 3 places people put their money. The banks, 80% put their money in banks, 15% put their money into the stock market. Only 5% put their money in life insurance. And the 5% of people I'm talking about the Rothschilds. I'm talking about, like, I don't know, the Rockefellers. I don't know if you've heard about the Rockefellers. They're like a big in America, kind of big. I don't know. I don't know if you heard about the Michael Korses of the world. They're kind of fashion designer. They're kind of big. I don't know if you heard about McDonald's also, the burger place. I think they make burgers, but they're also in the real estate. But did you also know they got started with a life insurance? Cash value from a life insurance policy. I don't know. I'm sorry. Did you guys hear about Donald Trump only paying $750 in his taxes as a multi-billionaire? How could that be possible? Oh, did you hear about Donald Trump addressing Hillary Clinton in their presidential debate when he talked about the tax laws? Because these are the very same tax laws George Soros, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all the big money donors use. These are the tax laws on the books. We are not educated on these things. We are uninformed. We are overlooked and underserved. So when I talk about proper financial education and financial planning, what we do is we give you a free financial lifestyle strategy, a complete FLS, so you can understand what your financial lifestyle is going to look like, how to keep your quality of life as you go into your older age, and help you to set up a tax-free retirement for yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Jason Miller, the Money Monster, and that's my time. I'm going to cut it short today. I was going to try to keep it under 20 minutes today, okay? So again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you download that song. Go to Spotify. Show some love to your boy, okay? Listen, I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm asking you to check out the music and like it, okay? If you want to buy something, support the link below. God's Gift Luxury. That's all my years of cannabis research. Those aren't my products, but that's my brand, and that's how I be able to help to raise money, raise capital right now to feed myself, my family, and also to do more research. So I definitely encourage you to support God's Gift Luxury. If you're a cannabis owner, you're a cannabis consumer, you want to learn more about cannabis, buy my book, God's Gift, the Nature's Intelligence Design. The link is going to be below as well. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to learn more about the financial services industry if you're in the cannabis, or even if you're not, because this is not specifically for cannabis people. I just want to give you an understanding of my background. See, I believe in one thing: never be afraid to sacrifice who you are for what you can become. Kurt Nugent said that to me on my very first tour. I did a college tour with him in my very first book, Teaching Them to Be. My very first album. So my very first album, I turned it into a book and I turned it into a clothing line. And we went on tour together. He was a motivational speaker and I was the artist. And we did an open workshop afterwards. And one thing I learned about him is never be afraid to sacrifice who you are for what you can become. So I'll let you know right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jason Miller, $1 million cash flow ring earner in PHP Agency, powered by Integrity Marketing Group, and my brand is Integrity Wealth Group, and we are here to protect and serve American families. My community has been overserved, underserved, and overlooked for a long time, and I am here to help you, to let you know that my responsibility is to make sure if you're a business owner, you make sure your employees are protected, especially if you're an independent business owner. Make sure your employees have insurance coverage, because guess what? If something happens to them, you're not paying their bills. You're not taking care of their family. So the least you can do for your employees, if you're an independent business owner, is make sure that they have a term policy. So if something happens to them, you know your employees are protected. That's the least. It don't cost a lot of money to get a term policy, but at least you know your people will be protected. Whether you're in a cannabis business or you just have a regular 9-to-5, or you just work in a business, you're an independent business owner. You need to find out for yourself how you can set aside a way to get some tax-free retirement, put away some retirement for yourself. Because as a business owner, we don't have a retirement. We are our retirement. So if we don't run the business right, or if the business fails or anything goes wrong with the business, cash flow is limited for the business. And that's why I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, right now is the time for you to learn more about how you can protect yourself, your family, and your cash flow. I am the Money Monster, $1 million earner with PHP Agency, built my own brand, Integrity Wealth Group, and I want you to also go and support Integrity Wealth Group as well. My link is there. If you want to learn more information, please click on the link below, schedule an appointment with me directly. We'll be able to sit down one-on-one, or you can sit down and speak to one of our licensed brokers, agent. We'll be able to sit down with you, go over any information with you. If you're a cannabis business owner, or you're just a person who wants to learn more about these services, want to understand living benefits. And see, I said I wasn't going to be 20 minutes, and look at that. I'm already over 20 minutes. But y'all, listen, man, that's my time. Money Monster, Jason Miller, roll the wedding. Check that spelling. Peace.